All right.
Well, it's that time again. What day is it?
Friday. It's Fit Friday.
It is Fit Friday again, and we are so excited. We are coming back from Callaway's Fitness in Baton Rouge, the biggest gym I've ever been in. I love it so
This
much.
is the biggest gym in Baton Rouge.
And it is an active gym in Baton Rouge. You may hear the activity going on. As a matter of fact, there is a pickleball game going on below us.
Yes, yes, yes.
So if you hear and see things, know that it's because it's a gym. But today, what's our topic?
Today we're talking about the blame game. How we can sabotage our success, whether that's in the gym. Beth is a life coach. So Beth's going to talk about also how we can sabotage our success in life in general.
And we're going to talk about how we do that a lot because it's so easy to say, well, I would have done it if so and so hadn't have done that or done this. And I think that
Yeah.
in life, there's a few places that we tend to blame um, other people. One of those is our past. I mean, did you grow up in a
Mm,
perfect family?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I didn't either. My dad was married 9 times. I tell people, you don't really need to know much more than that.
Wow.
But I grew up in a mess. And so I had an opportunity to really be able to blame that I grew up in a mess. I didn't have a dad present in the home, all the things. But at some point, I decided, you know what? I don't want to do that. I want to make
Hmm.
something of my life. And
Yeah.
how about you? You did the same?
I did the same. I did the same. I didn't have that particular scenario in my family.
Not
Things were a
many
little
people
bit
have a
different.
dad with
Yeah,
9 times.
yeah. So, but still, yeah, there were challenges and things that, yeah, kind of pushed me in directions. So, yeah.
And I heard a phrase one time, and it's called the past is present until it's resolved. And I've changed that to the past is present when it's at peace.
Mm,
Because
that's good.
I've made peace. This took counseling, it took work on my part. I've made peace with not only the past that was inflicted upon me, but a lot of the stupid, horrible decisions that I made that I inflicted upon myself.
Yeah.
I made peace with that. What about you? Did you
Yeah.
at some point just go, okay, got to move forward?
Yes, I absolutely did. I'm like, you know what? I can't change what has already happened. I either have to be okay with it or let it go. One or the other has to happen. Yeah.
I think the other place people tend to blame is, what I call I'll be happy when phase.
Mm, mm-hmm.
I can remember thinking, well, I'll just be happy when I have a husband and I can pay all my bills and I have somebody else to, co-labor with because I was having such a hard time meeting ends and making
Yeah.
ends meet. And then it became I'll be happy when I have kids and I can fix all the broken stuff from my childhood with my kids, which didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, have you ever thought, well, if only I just get this in line, everything will be right and I'll be good to go?
Yeah. Yeah. I think in business and in personal life too. Because in business you're like, okay, this one thing has to happen for these other things to happen, or I think these need to happen in a certain, you know, kind of line of things to occur. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now, I find people, I'm a purpose person. I believe people, have a cause and a purpose. Their life has a meaning. And I know you do too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, you can't think that there's just going to be a perfect time where you step out in faith or you step out and take that risk or you start that business. All the stars are not going to align for that because
No.
there's never the perfect time. I hear people say, they're going to wait till they have kids when their budget's in order. And I'm like, oh no,
Mm. The kids are going to blow that
that's
budget.
funny. That budget is not going to be enough.
Quadruple that budget, and
Yeah,
you'll never have kids if you wait on that.
right. And the same with, perhaps starting a business,
Mm-hmm.
stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that really is crazy. There's part of us innate in all of us that
Mm-hmm.
we really want to change the world. So
Yes.
the only person holding us back from that is
Ourselves. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And you talk about business wise. For me, I'll just share my quick story. I decided after working in corporate America for 100 years that I was going to open my own business because fitness is my jam. So I love it. I've been doing it side hustle on the side. And I'm like, okay, take the leap or wait. Take the leap or wait. And I hesitated and waited for about a year. And then I finally just jumped.
Yeah.
And I was like, sink or swim. Sometimes you have to put yourself out there. And that was putting myself way out there.
And you may sink a time or two.
I
And
sank a few times,
I
yes.
have sunk and I have stepped in my own pits before. I have made mistakes, but I really don't think I would trade the lessons I learned.
Yeah.
I mean, when you fail, which I say when because we all do, you fail forward and
Hmm.
you can choose to fail backwards. But failure is just a part of life because if you really want to do something with your life, it's going to require getting
Hmm.
out of your comfort zone. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think you had to do that when you started your own business.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to give up a salary.
Yes, it was. It was, especially when you're not trading it for a salary.
Right.
You're trading it for a bunch of unknowns. So it's like, okay, sink or swim. It's going to be a
And most people is things settles down and the world back to normal. Not
mm,
gonna
mm.
normal is gone.
Yeah.
So if you're waiting on things to settle down for the climate to be friendlier, and maybe it will be. I don't know. But the point being is that you're gonna have we're all a solution to the problem.
Hmm.
You solved a solution many women face, and that's our hormones are out of order. We can't build muscle. We become cottage cheese legs. And she's I don't accept that.
No, I don't. I
So
don't.
she did
Yeah.
the work.
And neither should you.
Yeah. But think of all the work you did, not
Mm.
just research, not just doing the exercises. I mean, you created your own band that I have one of, and it helps you to build muscle in your booty. Gotta have a good booty. But I mean,
Everybody needs a good booty. Yeah.
think about, and it's not that it's not just that it looks good. You want it to be strong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Aesthetics are obviously a plus. You want to look good, you feel good, all those things happen. But yeah, for physical ability to stand up and sit down 10 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever your goal is. But yeah, strong hips make a big difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think another thing that as a life coach I find to be so huge is the ability to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
We can blame other people because they didn't say the right thing, do the right thing all day long. But I
Yeah.
often say that if let's just take marriage for an example, I've been married 31 years. If I'm mad at my husband and he's done something wrong, he said something, he's done something, it's legit. I'm legitimately mad at him because I can blame him because he shouldn't have said or done.
Yeah.
But if I don't tell him, honey, this is what you did, this is how it hurt my feelings, or this is how it caused me to be upset, or something like that, then I lose the right to be angry. So I blame game is really when you don't accept the responsibility to solve your own problem.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And then you just sit and stew
Yes.
in that issue or that problem, and there's no resolution because all you're doing is just processing and rethinking and thinking about what they should have said or what they should have done, right?
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah, yeah,
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
yeah.
And I think that is so true. We spend so much time in my book, No Hamsters in Heaven.
It's a good book, by the way. You need it. Yeah.
It's all about the things that we're carrying up here that are spinning in our conscious mind and they're keeping us from resting. And
Mhm.
oftentimes that's unsettled conversation.
Yeah.
I wish I would have said. I wish, I told her before we did this, we're on our third or fourth of these, and I'm like, what do you really think about what we're doing? I mean,
Yeah.
if we don't get honest with each other and say we need to do more of this, we need to do less of that, then we're not going to get better.
Yeah.
We're just going to stay the same,
Yeah.
and eventually we'll lose the passion for it because if you're not gaining momentum,
If you're not growing,
you're
yeah.
going,
Yeah.
going south.
Yeah.
Going south.
Same thing with your booty.
But I think communication is one of those areas. You know,
Mhm.
one of the questions I ask all my coaching clients on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at communicating? People are barely at 5.
Really?
People are, and but I say then, okay,
Wow.
where do you want to be? Everybody unanimous 10.
10. Yeah.
So communication and confidence are learned skills. You have to learn that it's
Yes.
important to be able to say, I am, like nobody else can work out for you. Like it would be great if I could just
Right.
say, can you just do
Do my
that and
thing.
give me the
Mhm.
right, right muscle mass?
Mhm.
But I have to do that for myself. I have to be able to say, this is probably not a great example, but I have to be able to say to her, I really need to work on this because I have areas or something like that. I think that we have, you know, getting rid of the blame game means getting honest with ourselves and things in my life. I also, if
Mhm.
you rock, you better be a bee because
Yeah.
your weed.
I agree. Talking other people influence things, our decisions. I had with earlier was telling her about what we were. She's like, oh, this is me. So she shares kind of going on her life, and it's a member who is doing something kind of like sabotaging her results, food,
Ah,
with diet and nutrition. So she knows she needs to eat a certain way, and this other person is pushing other, not so good foods in her direction. So it's like, okay, you have a choice.
yeah,
We all have to make our own decisions. I am going to accept that, or you know what? That's not. You can have that, but that's not so good for me.
right.
And you can say that.
Yeah,
You be honest.
yeah. And no thank you is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
You do not have to explain yourself. You do not have to offer a no thank you because,
Right.
it's just, you know what? No thanks. I appreciate it, but no thanks.
That's what I tell my clients. You're
Yeah.
right. You are very right.
And I think we in the communication area, we say too much because we're trying to please other people.
Yeah.
And then we give excuses. And, when you've made a commitment to yourself, I'm going to eat well. I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to be true to my work and things like that. Then the only person you can let down is yourself.
Right.
And so you
Yeah.
have to be able to say no, thank you, when something is presented at you that you know is not good for you, and then you feel so good about
You
you.
do. You
You
do.
do when you say no.
Yeah. And that's a commitment to yourself.
It
You like
is.
we were talking about last week. You make commitments to yourself, the nutrition or a certain lifestyle or
Yep.
whatever,
Hmm.
or things that you're setting your standards at a certain point. And when you say no thank you and you hold to it, I mean that's a good feeling.
It's a
That's a good
great feeling,
feeling.
and we all have that member of our family, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because families come with emotions and relationships and things like that,
And opinions.
and opinions and influence.
Yeah.
And we have, when we get in our car, we turn the radio up, we turn the radio down. That's what we do with the voices. We're not going to get rid of our family members that could potentially sabotage something we're doing. We're
Right.
just going to stand up for ourselves and say, you know what? Not today.
Yeah.
Not no thank you. And then we begin to no thank you in all the areas of our life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And no thank you is okay to say.
it is.
I think sometimes we feel like, oh, I can't say no. And I experienced this one time with a client a while back. I can't say no to that family member because it's going to hurt her feelings. And I'm like, she's going to have hurt feelings and you're going to feel terrible because you didn't say no, thank you. So which one do you want to take? Hurt feelings or you feeling really bad? So
And my
it was
son
a
and I,
decision.
my son is 27 and he's into the leadership thing and all the podcasts. So we talk a lot. And one of the things that's true is the truth hurts.
It does.
And
Sometimes
that's
it
why
does.
people don't talk about what people need to talk about.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we have a tendency to wimp out on ourselves. And once we begin to stand up for ourselves, you don't have to be ugly. You don't have to be
No.
short. You
Yeah.
don't have to be rude. You just, be so nice, but say, you know what? No, thank you. I have family members that I have to just keep at a distance because it's a lot and I don't have the time for that.
Mhm.
And so I just kind of back up. It doesn't mean I back out.
Right.
It just means I back up and I
Mhm.
take care of what I need to take care of for me.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the same with
Mm-hmm.
fitness
Yeah.
is, fitness isn't a diet. It isn't a fad. It's a
Right.
lifestyle.
It is. Oh, it encompasses everything. Your decisions in regards to food. If you're going to stay out all night long, or if you're going to go in, if you're going to have that 2 or 3 or 4 glasses of wine, or if you're not. It's all those little decisions that equate to, a long, healthy life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our thoughts on the blame game.
Hmm.
And this is all about feeling great about who you are, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And you have to be so true to the commitment you make to yourself, because if not, that's where the blame game comes in, and it never works.
Yeah. The excuses, yes, it doesn't work.
It didn't work for Adam and Eve, and that's a long time ago. So we ought to just know
Right.
that's not going to get
Right.
them very far. It started a long time
It
ago.
did start a long time ago.
So next week, we would love to hear topics that y'all would like to talk about.
Yeah.
I have an idea, and I haven't run this by Wanda yet, but I would like to talk about what chronic illness does to your fitness regimen.
Oh my gosh.
Because I know
That's
a
a
lot
good
of
one.
people that are fighting diagnoses and they're
Yeah.
tired, and I think
Yeah.
it's one thing if you feel great and you're energized and you want to go to the gym. There's a lot of people that don't have that feeling, and I think
Yeah.
we need to talk about how chronic diseases and diagnoses
Yeah.
affect our day-to-day living and what we can do with and about that.
Yeah.
What do you think about
that's
that?
that's a good one. And that's a deeper one,
Yeah.
because then you really get into mindset, as well as physical. If you've got a chronic disease that's weighing you down physically,
Mhm.
emotionally, it's going to be weighing you down as
Exactly.
well. So yeah, that's going to require a little bit of mindset work on that too.
Yeah,
But it's a good topic.
and avoiding chronic disease. I mean, I know some people have
Mhm.
done nothing and they've got a diagnosis that they don't know how to. It's tough,
Yeah.
but I think again, trying to do what we can to stave off those things that could cause us to trip up.
Oh gosh, yeah. Stay
And
ahead of it.
yeah,
That's key, is staying ahead of things. And there are ways, you know, thinking about menopausal women, women over 50, there are diseases that start creeping in
mhm,
as we get older, and there are some that we can absolutely avoid
right.
and prevent. So super, super important to be on top of those things.
So we're checking out for this Fit Friday. We're so excited that we're here at Callaway. We're so
My
grateful.
favorite gym,
It's your gym.
favorite.
Yeah, and we're so excited to be able to talk about things that we need to talk about. This is big topics, and I'm a life coach. She's the fit coach, so we're putting our brains together. But we would love to be in touch with you. We've put our websites on the bottom of that. If you have questions for either one of us, I have a new book out. She has a new book out.
Yay!
It's a great way to just continue the conversation
Yeah.
in other ways, but
Yeah.
and we both would love to talk to anyone who has questions about what we talked about today. And we're going to be back next Friday.
We'll be back next Friday. Yeah. So we'll talk about next Friday: longevity, chronic health, or chronic disease. That's where we're going with that.
And chronic health. With that, we're gonna.
We need to coin that phrase.
Yeah, that is true. I want to have chronic health, and I want to do whatever I have to do to have chronic health, and I will ask anyone who can help me with that. And I think that's what we'll talk about next week.
Yep.
So
Fantastic.
everybody have a great weekend. We're so excited to get to come to you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Drop your comments. Let us
Yeah.
know what you want to talk about so we can put that on our topic
Yeah,
list.
be a part of our Fit Fridays and tell us what you would like to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Ciao.
Have a great weekend.
All right.